a secret operational memo that would destroy the brittle fragment of the British monarchy was sent to a private royal security checkpoint at the southern gates of Windsor Lodge on a clear, cloudy morning on the Windsor estate. The explicit and unimaginable edict came from Queen Camilla's administrative office and was issued on private stationery. At the perimeter gates, all uninvited family guests, including minor royals, were to be sent away without previous written authorization from the Queen's confidential secretary. An 8-year-old youngster was subject to that frigid administrative order less than 48 hours later. Prince Louis strolled from Adelaide Cottage into the historic gardens of Windsor Lodge, a common haven where the Wales children had played since infancy, accompanied by his nanny and his long-standing royal protection officer. However, the security detail hesitated as they got closer to the corroded iron gates. The young prince's protection team was notified by the guards that Prince Louis was not on the authorized daily access registration in accordance with new residential protocols issued by Queen Camilla's household. The guards moved forward with obvious discomfort and lowered their heads in profound humiliation. He was not allowed on the property. Adelaide Cottage became icy when 8-year-old Louis came home and asked his parents why he was no longer permitted to stroll around his grandfather's gardens. Prince William remained silent. He refrained from making a hasty public declaration. Rather, he started a classified probe into Windsor Lodge's governance right away. Within 48 hours, William and Catherine discovered much more than a small transgression against a defenseless youngster. It revealed a methodical, clandestine effort by Queen Camilla's closest circle to seize exclusive possession of the historic home, embezzle sovereign family funds, and covertly store valuable heirlooms from Princess Diana and the late Queen Elizabeth II, especially set aside for Prince Louis in a royal trust. Please take a moment to support our channel before we show you the tense exchange in which Prince William gave the official eviction notice. If you think Princess Diana's holy legacy should never be forgotten in royal memory, and that 8-year-old Prince Louis has to be zealously shielded from palace intrigue, please subscribe to Crown Watch with notifications enabled. Like this video, and leave a comment below with your opinions. We are able to carry out these bold, thorough royal investigations because of your funding. The quiet operations that had been taking place inside Windsor Lodge over the previous months must be examined in order to comprehend how a private property became the focal point of a dramatic royal reckoning. The house had been temporarily put at Queen Camilla's disposal as a country getaway after the coronation, while more general estate allocations were examined. However, Camilla's staff started acting as though King Charles had permanently transferred the unencumbered title of the estate directly into her personal estate, rather than handling the property as a joint family asset. Camilla started a series of ambitious, expensive structural modifications without consulting the Prince of Wales, the Duchess of Cornwall, or the Crown Estate Commissioners. After decades of maintaining the estate, long-serving security guards, gardeners, and domestic attendants were suddenly moved, fired, or replaced with private contractors who were only devoted to her personal staff. Private suites were created for Camilla's personal friends in rooms that had previously been used for visiting family members. Delicate tapestries, classical portraits of sovereign predecessors, and historic furniture were discreetly taken from public display and replaced with contemporary decor that eliminated any visual link to earlier royal generations. Every time senior estate managers brought up procedural concerns about the abrupt change, Camilla's senior private secretary responded with a single, uncompromising statement. Her Majesty the Queen now has the last say over how Windsor Lodge is run. Officially, all prior home arrangements are void. Fearful of confronting the current monarch's wife, palace employees said nothing. The perilous appearance of total authority was produced by that stillness, an illusion that caused Camilla's inner group to make their most disastrous and careless calculation. An administrative audit was not the cause of Camilla's operational wall's initial fracture. It resulted from Princess Catherine's painstaking attention to detail. A number of historic personal belongings associated with Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Diana were inexplicably missing from their assigned display cabinets in the lodge's main reception gallery. Catherine, who had always served as a peacemaker within the royal family, observed this. These included an antique leather-bound desk used by Queen Elizabeth, a collection of silver-framed family photos from Diana's early years at Highgrove, and a custom silver christening bowl that Diana commissioned and designated in private family covenants for her youngest grandson, Prince Louis. Camilla's initial answer to Catherine's courteous private inquiry, seeking information on the removal of these family artifacts, was cold and contemptuous. Camilla retorted that rather than meddling in the day-to-day operations of a senior royal residence, Catherine ought to concentrate on the domestic management of Adelaide Cottage. Catherine did not react angrily. Rather, she initiated a silent forensic analysis of all storage logs, transit manifests, and contractor invoices associated with Windsor Lodge for the preceding half-year. In a matter of days, a seasoned member of the lodge's security staff, much disturbed by the animosity aimed at young Prince Louis, surreptitiously revealed a private transit manifest. According to the letter, a number of sealed wooden crates containing safeguarded royal relics had been designated as surplus estate furniture and were to be secretly moved to an off-site commercial storage facility outside of London, under explicit written instructions from Camilla's private office. The sealed package holding Diana's personal silver christening collection intended for Louis was at the bottom of the manifest. The startling directive, permanent archival removal, no public display, was stamped in red ink on the shipping label. Catherine collected all of the cancelled visitor passes, security logs prohibiting Prince Louis from entering the gates, unapproved contractor invoices, and covert shipping manifests and bound them into a 50-page legal document. She put the dossier right on Prince William's desk that night. Prince William did not react with overwhelming wrath after reviewing the dossier. It was purposeful, cold, and uncompromising. William was the most knowledgeable person alive on the royal family's constitutional structure. He was aware that Camilla's authority depended solely on the presumption that no one would dare question a deal purportedly approved by King Charles. However, William was also aware that in the British monarchy, legally binding royal warrants take precedence over personal presumptions. William promptly called the head legal solicitor for the Crown Estate and the senior archivist of the Duchy of Cornwall to an urgent midnight review at Kensington Palace. He insisted on obtaining the original Windsor Lodge occupancy covenants and fundamental title deeds. The legal team spent hours going through decades' worth of papers pertaining to royal property. The main document, the 1999 Windsor Estate Conditional Occupancy Covenant, was found by an archivist around 2:15 a.m. The covenant was very explicit. Windsor Lodge was categorized as an inalienable family historical asset, according to clear legal precedents. 3 non-negotiable legislative requirements govern the strict conditional tenure under which occupancy was permitted. First, all direct successors to the throne and their immediate descendants must have unhindered, unlimited access to the property. Second, without the Prince of Wales's unanimous written approval, no sovereign trust assets or historic family heirlooms may be moved. Third, occupation rights would be immediately, automatically, and irreversibly forfeited in the event of any unilateral restriction on direct heirs or any unauthorized reallocation of sovereign maintenance expenditures for private changes. It was obvious that Camilla's private office had never studied the fine language of the 1999 Covenant, functioning under the haughty presumption that royal authority was absolute. By discreetly packing Princess Diana's heirlooms for off-site transportation and by issuing a documented security order that prohibited 8-year-old Prince Louis from crossing the grounds, Camilla had activated her own teen's automatic forfeiture clause. Without even needing King Charles's signature, William had the legal power to remove her from Windsor Lodge. Prince William unexpectedly drove to Windsor Lodge at 10:00 a.m. the next day. He entered the home without personal protection officers, household quarters, or press assistants. The certified 1999 Covenant and Catherine's forensic dossier were under his arm. William entered the morning drawing room, where Queen Camilla was going over remodeling sketches with her interior designer, after walking straight through the vast entry hall and past Camilla's shocked private secretaries. Camilla and the Prince of Wales were left alone as the designer bowed and quickly left the room, trying to exude ice royal composure. Camilla said, "William, what is the meaning of this unannounced intrusion? This dwelling is not a public space for your family." With a loud slap that reverberated off the high ceilings, William moved forward and dropped the heavy file upon the center table. William said, "You have 24 hours to dismantle your private staff and 30 days to vacate this lodge entirely," in a tone that was very authoritative. Camilla flushed with outraged disbelief as she got to her feet. How could you talk to me like that? I was given this house by your father. You have no constitutional right to control how I live." William pulled one document out of the file and placed it only inches away from her gaze. Prince Louis had been sent away at the perimeter gates by the security order with her officer's stamp. William added, "You used royal security to bar an 8-year-old child from his family's property," as his gaze pierced hers. "You locked my son Louis out of these gardens. You treated Princess Diana's grandson as an intruder on land he will one day inherit." Camilla recoiled a little, but she made a hasty attempt to defend the action. "In order to protect my privacy during official state preparations, it was a regular security step. It wasn't an insult to Louis personally," William retorted. "Do not lie to me, Camilla," his voice lowering into a menacing growl. "You silently replaced my mother for 30 years. You scattered her trinkets and let her memories fade around this palace. As a child, I had no voice, so I kept quiet. However, you will never expel Princess Diana's lineage from Windsor grounds, or treat my son like a second-class royal." The crate numbers holding Diana's christening silver were then visible when William took the covert transit document out of the folder. "You attempted to smuggle my mother's heirlooms into off-site storage to erase every trace of her from this house," William said. "You broke clauses 4 and 7 of the 1999 Sovereign Covenant by doing this and by prohibiting Louis. Get out, Camilla. Your tenancy has been lawfully terminated." William stared at Camilla with pure, unwavering, sovereign resolution as she attempted a last desperate defense, threatening to take the matter directly to King Charles to force an intervention. Camilla realized the trap had snapped shut with total finality. "Call him now, and he will be shown the contractor invoices, the legal covenant, and the written evidence that you excluded his youngest grandchild from the estate. All of the documents in this file will be made public to the national press if you demand a public tribunal." Within 4 hours of William's departure, the Duchess of Cornwall's legal director formally served Clarence House with the order of tenancy termination and asset recovery. Camilla looked into William's uncompromising eyes and saw that there was no room for negotiation, manipulation, or delay. The battle was completely lost. The conditions could not be changed. A strict 30-day deadline was set for the full removal of Camilla's personal wardrobe and personal belongings. All restricted access orders against Prince William, Princess Catherine, and their children were permanently revoked. All unapproved redecoration and construction work was immediately stopped, and Queen Camilla's private administrative assistants and security teams were given 72 hours to turn over their access keys. The atmosphere at Windsor Lodge had descended into a desperate retreat by mid-afternoon. Silently, private moving vans pulled up to the secondary service courtyard. Under direct orders from Kensington Palace, household inventory officers wearing archival gloves entered the home and carefully opened the sealed crates in the cellar under Princess Catherine's supervision. Room by room, every drawer, cabinet, and closet was examined to make sure that no royal trust heirlooms, paintings, or historical artifacts were removed alongside Camilla's personal belongings. In the public galleries of the lodge, Diana's silver christening bowl, the heirloom portraits, and the late Queen's personal desk furnishings were respectfully unpacked, cleaned, and returned to their historic locations. On the 29th day of the eviction order, Queen Camilla's last personal convoy left Windsor Lodge without any royal fanfare, no press camera to record her departure, and the heavy row-iron gates swung closed behind her vehicle, ending her attempt to seize control of the estate. The atmosphere at Windsor Lodge was drastically different the next weekend. The discriminatory security checkpoints, the secretive private staff, and the suffocating tension were all gone. 8-year-old Prince Louis was walking across the estate's sunlit lawns hand in hand with his mother and father, while Louis ran freely through the estate's historic rose gardens, chasing his family dog past the gates, where he had been turned away weeks earlier. Prince William and Catherine stood on the stone terrace, watching with quiet, profound satisfaction. This victory was about much more than a magnificent country lodge. Prince William has drawn an unbreakable sovereign line across the royal landscape. Anyone who dares to target his children, compromise heritage, or undermine Princess Diana's living legacy will face the full unsparing power of the future king. It was a decisive historic demonstration that the balance of absolute power within the British monarchy has permanently shifted. The era of backroom palace intrigue, covert administrative maneuvering, and the subtle marginalization of Princess Diana's descendants has come to a standstill. How do you feel with Prince William defying Queen Camilla and defending infant Prince Louis? Did William and Catherine respond to this extraordinary situation with the fortitude and dignity of future kings? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Subscribe to Crown Watch for our upcoming exclusive royal investigation, and hit the like button to support Prince Louis and Princess Diana's legacy.